Welcome to the Daily Scams Supersleuth Series. This lesson will show you how to use an internet tool called a WhoIs to investigate links in email, texts, Twitter feeds, Facebook. There's a great deal of information you can learn from a WhoIs about the websites you're about to visit, and whether or not those sites are scam sites or legitimate sites. Let's get started. Here's an email that seems to come from Amazon.com. I've purposely blurred the person's email address that it was sent to, but if you see near the top after "Thanks for your order," there's a line that says "Visit your account," which is a link. And when we mouse over that link in the lower left-hand corner of our window, we see a strange string of characters, qsbim.com, and additional information. Now what's most important here is the string of characters before the first /, in this case the qsbim. We're going to use Google to find a good WhoIs. There are many WhoIs tools. If I go into Google here and type WhoIs, all one word, I see that there are several that are available to me. WhoIs.net, Network Solutions WhoIs, WhoIs.is, WhoIs.com, and a bunch of others. The one that I like to use the most is WhoIs.sc. WhoIs.sc. Into WhoIs.sc, I'm going to type the domain from the link, qsbim.com, and then hit return or click search. The WhoIs reaches out to name servers and looks for who owns that domain and where it's been registered. Comes back with a lot of information. If we ignore the advertising for a moment, I want to scroll down here to see that the WhoIs seems to be registered to Instra Corporation Pty Limited. And interesting to note, it was registered in April of 2012. And if we look carefully, it says the owner city is in Kowloon, and then the owner country is HK, which of course is Hong Kong. So this is not a link to a website owned by Amazon here in the United States. This QSBIM is actually a link to a website somewhere in Hong Kong. Here's a second example. We received an email that said, "I sent this to you yesterday, but it looks like you've only watched half of it. I want to give you private access to a traffic app worth $997 today. Go here and don't say this to," and there's a link. If we mouse over the link, we see at the bottom of our email that it points to a website called www.mikestaylor.com / and again followed by a lot of stuff. Now remember, we're not interested in all the stuff that appears after the first /. This is the important part right here, the stuff that's in front of that first /. So now let's move over to our WhoIs, WhoIs.sc, and let's look up MikeSTaylor.com. Hit search. Now remember, we don't have to put in the www, just the domain name. It says here that MikeSTaylor.com is registered with moniker, whatever that is, and it's registered to someone named Andy Taylor. And there's an email address for Andy, but I'm more interested in where Andy's website seems to be located. And here the WhoIs says that it's located in a place called Tirana, AL. And just so you know, in case you're wondering, that AL is not Alabama. In fact, we should be able to tell by the telephone number here that that is not a telephone exchange in the United States. There's something a little odd about this. And in fact, Tirana, Alabama is actually Tirana, Albania, not Alabama. Again, this is not for a website here in the United States. Anytime you see a link that points to a foreign country, especially one you're not familiar with, such as Albania, if you're not expecting or know someone from that country to send you something, there's a very good chance that what you're getting is a scam, and it's probably a link to a malicious website. That's usually not a safe link to click on. In our third example, we have an email here that was sent presumably from a company called Newegg.com, which sells electronics. Again, I've blurred out the person's email address that it was sent to, but it says, "Dear customer, thanks for shopping at Newegg.com, where we're happy to inform you that your order," and it gives an order number, "has been successfully charged to your MasterCard. Something charged my MasterCard. And if we mouse over the link for the order, we see in the lower left-hand corner here that it points to a website called risca.atwebpages.com. Certainly doesn't look like newegg.com, but you never know what it might be. It's worth pointing out that there are three pieces to this web address. The RISCA is called a subdomain. The @webpages is the primary domain, the main domain of the company or of the website, and then .com means it's a commercial website. Now, the RISCA, RISCA, is not the least bit important. We're focused on the @webpages.com. That's the part that we want to investigate. So when I go to my WhoIs, I type in @webpages.com and hit search. So @webpages.com brings up a bunch of information again on my WhoIs, but the most important thing here is when I look at the administrative or technical contacts and I see that they are located in a place called KLDE. KLDE is actually in Germany. DE is the two-letter country code, Deutschland, for Germany. So this is not even in the United States. In our fourth example, we see something else interesting about domains. Here we see an email that says this needs to be verified before credit score increases. And again, I've blurred out the person to whom it was sent. This is about increasing your credit score, and a mouse over of the link shows that it points to mail.gloxelfed.com / and a whole bunch of other stuff. Well, let's jump over to our WhoIs, GLAUXELFED.com. And again, we're not concerned about the subdomain, just the primary domain. We see here that Gloxelfed is actually registered to a WhoIs Privacy Protection Service. This WhoIs Privacy Protection Service prevents us from seeing any additional information about the owner of this domain. There's nothing we can tell about this domain unless we had a court-ordered subpoena. So the owner of this domain is actually hiding behind a protection service, and they pay for that service. That doesn't give me a good feeling about the person who owns this domain and what its purpose is and my use of it. I don't think it's a safe place to click. In this final example, I want to show you another couple of tricks that scammers use. You're looking at an ad here for Bible inspiration, and it says click here. And mousing over the ad shows that it leads to an interesting website named hub.kuthori.us, again followed by a string of characters. What we want to focus on is the kuthori.us. So if we switch over to our WhoIs and do a lookup of our kuthori.us, let's see what WhoIs says. The WhoIs shows that kuthori.us is owned by someone named Cendrillon LLC at gmail.com. And there are two interesting things to note here. One is the fact that Cendrillon owns more than 2,500 other domains, and I suspect that many of those other domains are scamming domains as well. And if we scroll down, besides the registration information on where Kuthori is registered, so for instance it's owned by our Garcia Cendrillon in Michigan, Granville, Michigan, I want you to see also that at the bottom of all of this information, it tells us that the domain was registered on May 15th at 2 o'clock, 2013. Now what is interesting about this is that this scam here for Bible inspiration actually appeared in our mailbox on May 16th. And it's a common trick that scammers actually open a brand new domain and then send out a scam on it before any of the blacklists can identify it and warn people about it. So they have very short half-lives. So May 15th, by May 17th, this domain is already going to be blacklisted by lots of different servers. And it won't be a risk to us, and it won't be earning the scammers much money anymore either. Thanks for joining us for part of our Supersleuth series. See you next time at thedailyscam.com.